Oh, hi, there we go.
I'm
How are you?
all right. How are you?
Good. Thank you for your patience. I just made us go live now. We're still figuring this out. Like we did it for a year on Instagram Live and we like perfected that. And
Mhm.
then, as I'm sure you know, as somebody who has migrated to different digital spaces, you kind of have to learn and adapt. And
Mhm.
that's what we're doing now.
So wait, where it was Instagram hating?
So Instagram was super dope. We did about like 90 episodes on Instagram, right? And they updated it with a really cool feature that now allows you to bring in multiple people into a live at once. They're kind of trying to get their clubhouse on, I think.
Mhm.
But it took away a function that we relied on really heavily, which was using visuals, like and incorporating them into our lives. Now you can't
Oh,
do that anymore. So I had to do like some soul searching and be like, what is more important? And I think ultimately we kind of decided that it's better not to be tethered to just one platform like Instagram. Um, Especially because, we all had dope MySpaces at one point, and then we all know what happened there. Right? But let me give you like a proper introduction here. The episode 95 of the questions. Shout out to everybody. If you're watching on Instagram right now, you're probably saying, oh, it's cropped. Come on over to YouTube. Come on over to Twitch. We're on Facebook. It's the questions hip hop on all those things. Episode 95, the game's most beloved hip hop trivia game. And we occupy a very niche space, but I feel like I can say that. We're joined today by our special guest. She is in New York City, New York native, maybe. Yes,
born
New
and
York,
raised. Yeah.
born and raised. All right, we're gonna get into that. Donuts are forever. Um, Makossa Cookout, Black Stream Live. So many credentials, credits. A dope DJ. Make some noise, show some love to episode 95's guest, DJ Tara.
Hey, everybody. How's
Yeah,
it going?
good, good. So New York has had quite an interesting year, and you're a native New Yorker. So
Yeah.
tell
Well,
me,
you know what? I'm gonna preface because I know someone I know, at least one person I was gonna, no, you're not, because I went to high school in the burbs. I did. But otherwise, I've spent most of my life in New York City. I moved right as soon as I graduated, I came right back. So, I did do a brief stint in the burbs, I won't lie.
yeah, a burbs bid, if you will.
Yes, a burbs bid.
People are very, very protective about these things. I was born in New York, in Manhattan, but I don't rep it because we moved when I was like 5 or 6. So and I went back, visited. It's probably there's no other place in the world that I've been to more. But I'm very, I always kind of side eyed, even as not a true New Yorker. I side eyed people who are like, yeah, New York, son, New York, and it's like we live in Florida. Like, why are you doing this? Okay, so native New Yorker, asterisk, high school discrepancy, whatever. We're gonna let that go. And working DJ, active DJ, live events. Tell me now that we're a year into this, what was your journey like in the last 365, and how did you sort of find yourself coping and pivoting to this new reality that we occupy?
All right. Well, thankfully, I was kind of, I won't say I was streaming. One of my DJ partners, Darling Chuck, and we used to do, when we were outside, we used to do a party and we would try to stream it on Instagram. We would stream it just until we got, booted off. So we were kind of dabbling with it. But I also, was doing like some radio stuff live and some other things. So I kind of had almost everything I needed. And then I was also hitting a point at the end of 2019 where I was like, look, my gigs are kind of drying up. Like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like, in New York, there are a lot of DJs. It's just what it is. And I also I don't DJ full time. I work. I have a day job, so I can't really be out and about like I really wanted to. So I was really like, well, I don't want that to dictate whether or not I DJ. So I really made an active decision at the end of that year to be like, well, I'm going to keep doing my mixes. I'm going to still do what I can do, maybe go back into doing my own events. again, who knew that was going to be
Ah,
here in the crib? But I felt like I was already positioning myself in that way, because you start to do, things aren't always on the up and up when it comes to this type of career. So I was just like, well, I love DJing. So, I have to do what I need to do in order to keep DJing that isn't dependent on whether or not somebody thinks I'm hot.
yeah.
So, the only thing I didn't have was really like a decent camera. But thankfully I had a good sound interface, which is so crucial. I was able to get a camera and and then started streaming kind of late, but I would do, we were doing Makossa in the summer, but I wasn't doing any regular streams until about, I'd say, August or so. Just because I also, with all of this going on, I started a new day job.
Oh my God.
So because it was the 15th. My first day was a year ago today, literally. No, a year ago today. So wow. I started in the quarantine, and I also was like really hype about this new job, because it was gonna be like the first time I could actually like walk to work. And then of course, again,
not as much.
It works. So this is where I work, right behind me. So like a lot. It's funny because I was prepping for a lot of things to happen, and they did not happen in the way that I wanted, but they did happen. So
right,
I have to say I'm fortunate in that way.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have sort of experienced that pivot where, we all had plans, we had, big aspirations, and things kind of shifted, but there's been a lot of silver linings and blessings in disguise, I suppose. Obviously, I don't want to ever make light of the fact that we're in the middle of, quite frankly, a fucking crisis. Like it's great that like the DJ community was revived in some ways through platforms like Twitch, but that still doesn't really feel like a net positive when compared to everything else. But we all cope and we all sort of adjust as need be. So I mean,
and make the best of it.
Yeah, we make the best of it. Exactly. Yeah. So somebody shouted you out in the chat here on YouTube. They say they remember you from the OK Player days, which that resonates with me as somebody who, I mean, there's no website that I've been to more in my life. And we're going to get into some of that too. But, if you guys have questions, we will be taking them at the end. So drop them in the chat, and we will sort of get into it. So are you ready to do some hip hop trivia? Or are you ready to do this?
All right, let's do it. I'm worried.
Yeah.
It's era. Let's test my knowledge. Let's see.
We're mixing it up. I don't remember exactly in this moment who nominated you, but you are one of our guests who was straight nominated straight out the comments. They were like, who should do this? And you got pulled into this. So we appreciate you joining. And what we used to do when we were on Instagram, we had ready access to see the chat at all times. I know you don't see the chat right now. You're just seeing me. You have the option to use the chat as a lifeline in this. We've had guests before who have, totally leaned on the chat. Yeah, it's the phone a friend. Actually, what we could do, and I've thought about this because of the platform that I'm doing this on now, we literally could bring a friend on if we wanted to do that. But I feel like that might be short notice right now. It's
if I had what I would have brought. I have a secret weapon for that. But
all that being said, you do have a group collective phone a friend in the chat. So if you do want to lean on them, we do not deduct points. We do not look down on you. We've had some hip hop legends lean on the chat before. So I just want to let you know.
Let me get up on I'm going to go on the Twitch. Let's see.
Yes. If you go on the Twitch, that's one of the platforms we're streaming on right now. If you're watching this on Instagram, this is always so weird. Right now, if you're on our Instagram, it's like, I'm going to hold it up so you can see. You're only seeing like a sliver of it. It's not ideal. It's basically just designed to be like, hey, come on over to a better platform to watch this. There's still been about 8 people camped out watching this whole thing. Who are you people? What's going on? Like, there's got to be a better way. I don't think this is the Instagram experience of this is not super captivating.
The people really it's convenient for them. I'm always like telling people, I'm like, come to Twitch. Like, it sounds better. You could see the whole screen. People think you don't even have to sign up.
Right.
You can just watch. Signing up makes it fun because you can get in the chats and all that, but that's free.
Yeah.
So, it's It's good time.
Today's episode is brought to you by Twitch. We are proudly sponsored. If you use promo code The Questions Tara, you will get 20% off your first 3 emotes. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna get into it then. You've got the Twitch pulled up. We've got people on YouTube. We've got people on Facebook. I think we got some Twitter as well. We're gonna get into our first round, and the first round is called The Choice Is Yours.
All right.
This is our general multiple choice. Let's get into it. Question number 1. The Roots, Black Thought, and Questlove attended Philadelphia High School for the Creative and Performing Arts alongside members of this group. Was it DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Boys to Men, Belle Biv DeVoe, or the Young Guns?
Boys to Men.
She says Boys to Men. Let's see if she's right, folks. Boys to Men is correct. Those of you who know that OK Player's very own Amir Questlove Thompson even makes a cameo in the Motown Philly video. He's got a little side corner kitchen fame going on, you know. You, like you said, you pivoted a lot. You had, you know, an interesting year and you made the most out of it. And part of that was you got a lot of shine from Questlove, I would say, in this year. I know that he pulled you and shared the bill with you on a few things. And I was reading, I don't remember what the source was on this, but he actually called you one of his favorite DJs.
Oh, okay.
Is that?
I mean, he always said I'm good, but if I'm one of his favorites, I think that's dope. I mean, before it's funny, before the pandemic, Amir would basically ask me to open for him at certain events that he was having, which was cool because it was just a good opportunity. And also a good paid opportunity to go and DJ. So I always just felt he's I'm good enough and I'm reliable. So to hear that, and especially when he hit me up in May to do the Stevie Wonder thing was just whoa. And I mean, at least to a degree, I was kind of ready because I'd done Motown on Mondays in Brooklyn for some time. So my Stevie and anything Motown was I was confident in the crates because I had maybe a week. And again, I'm working full time. So that's not a week's worth of time to prep. And it's 4 hours. I was and I think if it were any other circumstance, I probably would have been no, I can't do it. But then also I was I can't say no. I just have to do it, get it together, girl. So, but yeah, that was amazing. I remember I asked for the morning off. I got up super early because I wanted to catch Giles Peterson's set a little bit. I'm drinking coffee and DJing in my living room. It was just it was the best time. And that and doing Blackstream was, it's just really good opportunities. I think that's the one, again, trying to make the best of it. So many DJs have pivoted to Twitch and really have made the best of it in terms of creating lanes for themselves, creating opportunities for themselves to, showcase their talent. But then also, put out interesting content that's not just them DJing. I want to give the biggest shout to Spinurita, who I believe is the master of that. She just does amazing streams. She's done movie nights. This past, over the last week, she had Arabian Prince DJing and doing this electro funk tribute party. She had Tony G, I think, earlier today, and then I think she's doing something with Des Andres next week. And so not just her DJing, which is also amazing and a good time, but to see people putting on different events and doing it more a culture and education, but then also just a good ass time. I think it's a really amazing. So
yeah, it certainly seems like a renaissance for very thoughtful curation when it comes to things. We've had, many DJs, shout out to Spin Eureka. She's a friend of the show and definitely has been a supporter of what we've been doing before we were online, back when we were a live event, and now, in our current wacky evolving iterations. But what I always am curious in talking to DJs, I'm not a DJ myself, but, I'm close with many, go to many live events. Do you think that whatever the reality is going to be, whenever things open back up, and whether that's gradual and whether we ever reach that point, do you think that the impact of what we just described, this sort of like thoughtful curation, is going to bleed over and change nightlife? Or do you think that it's kind of going to go back to, and 2019 agenda, here we are again?
Oh man, that's a lot. I'm gonna say, as someone who kind of like this is like a part of what I do, or some things that I do in term, just apart from DJing, was like trying to bring about some change. Prior, again, right before the pandemic, a lot of venues in New York were having issues with paying folks, and trying to figure out like how we can intervene and like step in and do things around that, and realizing like this shit has to change. Basically, once things shut down, it was like, okay, well, we can't go back to this norm. Not only of just not being paid, being underpaid, but then also, yeah, like the unfortunate situation where you can't, there, people don't have the opportunities to grow parties like they used to. Like when I first started DJing, it wouldn't, well, I'm not going to say it was easy as pie, but I could go, if I pounded the pavement enough, find a venue willing to work with me, give me a night, give me at least, a few weeks to a month to try to get it going,
Yeah.
And that's not heard of, or it's very rare, I feel now, because rent's too high, everything's too high, everything's expensive. A place needs to make turn a profit every night. It's tough. I think that the pressure to make that profit or turn that profit is going to be greater for venues because they've been closed for a month. I mean, closed for a year.
They wish a month. They wish.
Yeah, they wish a month, but closed for a year. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be tough, but I also think that having, I do hope that this stays. The online element.
The thing that I keep thinking is, and there's no way to really answer this, so I apologize for asking you this a lot question, but it's like, I wonder the impact psychologically that it's going to have on people, where, like, here's a really broad example. You have somebody like D Nice, right? And he's been, at the peak of his pandemic popularity, was doing, it's not like he was playing music that was like typical club music, and he had, hundreds of thousands of people watching, or tens of thousands of people watching. And I just wonder if the curation part of it will sort of bleed over into the reemergence in public life, where people will be more open to, if, whether or not DJs, basically some DJs are going to have to go back to playing quote unquote like club bullshit, or if everybody maybe is like enlightened, and maybe this was like the Renaissance for our generation,
Yeah. A DJ like me, I hope it's the latter, but I mean, you never know. Also, I think people kind of, and that's not to say I don't like, we don't like party jams, we don't like radio, but, definitely even when I'm on Twitch, I'm not going to watch a DJ that's playing stuff that I'm like, can I learn something? Can I, or do something new? And that doesn't mean you have to be like, I'm not masterful. I'm not like doing these crazy anything, wild tricks or anything like that. But at least I'm putting forth stuff that maybe I didn't get a chance to do when I was out in public, when it was like a Saturday night, and you have to definitely play the things that people like. I do hope that people kind of get that and understand that they don't necessarily have to listen to the same old in order to get the feeling that they want. But I do think that I think some DJs might be hesitant. But I do hope that we try, we always have to try.
I also realized that like the problem with me asking this question to the people that we have on this show is that the type of people that we have on this show are usually the people who either don't do the standard party, like staples, or I'm preaching to the choir when I'm saying like, oh, wouldn't it be dope if you could do, like Stevie Wonder curated nights every week? It's like, yeah, like that. You could have asked me that in 2017, and that's
basically that's what it is. I mean, we were doing Motown on Mondays in Brooklyn in a bar. I mean, it also depends on where you DJ too.
Sure.
So, I mean, what I was not, a lot of places I was DJing are more chill, do allow a little bit more freedom. They don't necessarily want you to play like the height of the club music, or play it when it's popping, but otherwise like do your thing, which I preach, like the best 3 words I always like to hear. Do your thing. Oh, okay. Like you might hear some shit. But it's a good feeling. And I do hope that carries over. But I do think it's, we're going to need the crowd support on that.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. This is, it's a game show, but it's conversations. We're just, exploring things. And if you guys are watching on Instagram, again, get off Instagram and come on over to Twitch. I'm like a broken record here, or YouTube. We have a healthy amount of people on our YouTube right now watching too. All right, so question number 2: in recent years, this West Coast G-Funker has unveiled his own line of barbecue sauce called Sniffin' Griffins. Is it Corrupt, Warren G, DJ Quick, or Daz Dillinger?
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna try to phone a friend on Twitch. Does anyone know? I have a guess, but it is a guess.
Okay, if you guys know in the chat on Twitch or on YouTube, drop it in there. And okay, so I'm gonna show some of these on the screen.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say be Warren G because G's. I'm assuming Griffin is his last name. I'm using context clues. That's what.
Using context clues. We love it when our guests reveal their thought process. Let's see if she's right. She is absolutely right. It is Mr. Griffin himself, former guest on our show. We talked a little bit about his barbecue sauce endeavors. Which
dang. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to D-Funk in the chat. D-Funk, friend of the show. West Coast D-Funker. I see what you did there.
Oh, you not East Coast no more, homie? What up? What happened? No,
he's one of us now. He's one of us. Yeah.
See how quickly they turn.
We had this whole party where we celebrated.
No, that's Brooklyn right there. That's the Berry right there. We met each other at a Roots show, and we both lived. They were like shouting out Westbury, Long Island, and that's where I moved to. And I was like, "Who's from Westbury?" And then we like all lived within like 5 minutes of each other.
No way. That's crazy. So did you all go home like together?
No, not then, because I wasn't living. I was back in New York City, but I did move back with my parents because my parents still live out there. So I do there was a period of time when I moved back home, and we were all on Long Island. And then we all moved back. Then everyone went back home for a little bit, then moved out back to New York City. So
absolutely.
But yeah, so now he's West Coast. All right.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I see you.
We'll get into that. I mean, it's we like to call it the best coast. As an East Coast transplant who's now called LA home for the last 7 years, listen, get with the program. It's just.
I mean, you guys have weather. Okay, sure. I get it, but you have to drive. I would do weed, but we have legal weed kind of now.
As of today.
As of today, yes.
Incredible. That's like I think it was like 3 ounces or something?
Yeah, I think it's 3 ounces. You can smoke in public wherever you can. You can smoke weed in public wherever you can smoke cigarettes in public.
Okay.
And if you were convicted of anything that is legal now, like possession with that 3 ounce, then they're going to expunge your record. And then they're going to move towards, it's going to take like another year or 2 before you can start selling and all of that.
Incredible.
So I'm seeing fewer reasons to move to California.
All right. You know what? I've listened to your argument. We're going to send D-Funk back. We're D-Funk. We'll book your flight. You're going back home, baby. It's been real, D-Funk, but you made a pretty strong argument right there. All right, we're gonna move on.
That incentivizes him, but it's like there's no incentive for him on that. But still, well, good to know.
We've made the decision for you, D-Funk. We're gonna move on to the third question. Here we go. This DJ is responsible for the birthday-themed Zodiac tracks mixes. Is it Z-Trip, New Mark, Cut Chemist, or Wally Sparks? Zodiac tracks.
This is terrible. I'm going to guess Z-Trip, but I'm probably wrong.
All right. Do you want to talk through that, or do you just feel like that?
Shit. No, I mean, I love Wally, but I feel like I don't know if he would do the Zodiac track mixes. He does really, I don't know. Okay. I could be wrong. I just don't, if I, especially since I know Wally, so I apologize if it is you and I didn't know, but I don't know. I'm just.
Wally Sparks is a friend. He's another former guest on the show.
Yeah,
he's not responsible for the Zodiac tracks. You're saying Z-Trip. The answer is DJ Newmark from Jurassic
Mm, that was my okay. I
5.
was kind of like, then again, I kind of was going with the letter.
Yeah. Oh, you got
I
thrown
should
by
have
the
found a
Z.
friend. Yeah, should have found a friend.
Okay, all good. These things happen. Yeah, Newmark has these incredible mixes where he'll do them by zodiac sign, and I think he actually has them just in audio form too. But
Oh, okay.
last year he was also doing like video mixes, or before the pandemic, where it was like everybody who is an Aquarius and just playing the music of Aquarians during
Yeah.
Aquarius season.
One Way, DJ One Way Possible out of the Bay, he does a constellations party where he does zodiac. So shouts to One Way, who's also our Makossa co-resident. So shouts to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Well, shout out Newmark. Shout out all these DJs. Everybody, again, I can't reiterate how much that the DJ was really the hero of the pandemic, helping people get through
Mhm.
and all these platforms and connecting people through music. All that corny shit. I mean, it's true though. It is true. Like it's been very powerful to be connected with one another and kind of flashback almost to the time. It's weird that the internet almost has taken us back to like the time before the internet, where I feel like people are more excited and engaged in music. You know what I mean?
And they want to trade music. And I know, yeah, it is. It kind of reminds you if you were like I mean, from somebody who came from like being an OK player and AI and instant messenger chat rooms and
Come on.
aging myself here. But I mean, honestly, that's where I got a lot of music knowledge. It's what it is. And I'm grateful for it. So,
What was your name on OK Player?
not telling you, but I'm not going to say.
Wow. When was the last time that you logged on to OK Player?
At least 2 jobs ago, because that was a lot. I would, if I had a job that was like, oh, like kind of chill, I'm like, this works. Because I mean, I worked in IT, so and I was in college, so but yeah, after that was like at least 2, 3 jobs. Like I've moved on to like different positions, and then it's just like the more involved I get, I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, and it's just honestly like with anything, unfortunately, internet, it's toxic. There's good and bad, so.
It's not quite the cultural haven that it was initially.
And even when it wasn't, still toxic to a degree. So you got to, grow up or move on. So
you probably
out of it.
You probably left OK Player in the mass exodus of all women leaving the boards, because that was a real thing. Apologies from the lesser gender here. All right, we're going to move on to the final question in our first round, rather. Question number 4. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sally Haskell says, DJ saved my pandemic life. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Saw some really great sets. And I mean, honestly, again, for somebody who works and you get tired, I was able to see DJs DJ that if they were, I'm tired, so being able to like see them on the live stream in my house, it's been great. I've been able to catch up on a lot of music and a lot of DJs.
Yeah, shout out to being able to listen to music and not have to wear pants if you don't want to. We don't have proof that either of us are wearing pants right now, and I don't want, I'm comfortable with us having the freedom to just be chilling, socks, slides, whatever.
Yeah, sweatpants. I'm like sweating right now. I don't, because my heat's on. I don't know why. It's not cold, but
okay. You wanted to really sell like the intensity of being on this show. Like, oh,
I know, I'm so nervous. Oh, but no, it's just
you're trying to get into the trailer, the commercial for the show. Like, I just don't know. All right, question number 4. This producer signed Australian band Hiatus Coyote to their U.S. record deal via his Flying Buddha record label. Is it Salam Remy, Eric Sermon, Be Real, or Ninth Wonder?
Okay, it's not Ninth Wonder. It's not Eric Sermon. I'm gonna say it's Salam Remy, but I also, if Be Real has a label, I didn't know that, so I'm gonna go with Salam, unless anyone in the chat disagree on Twitch.
I'll show you some people that we have here on YouTube. Joel Henderson is saying A. Shout out to Tra Lamont. She's also saying A. A's have it. So if and you had it.
Yeah.
Correct. The answer is Salam Remy signed them to their US deal. Um, huge fan of theirs, as I would assume you are as well, just by hearing your sets and
And
knowing.
they're on Brain Feeder now.
And they're on Brain Feeder. Yeah. What did you hear the song that they did?
Oh yeah. Oh, I played it last night. I went on my stream. I've already played it a few times already on my stream. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan. I've seen them live a couple times, 2 times maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I really was loving that song with Arthur Farron.
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah.
And
That
shout out
is
to
an
Tom there.
album.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that like they what I appreciate about them is that they've gotten like a lot of cosigns from artists and visionaries here in the States, but like it's never been like Salam Remy signed them and like, okay, now I'm gonna like shape your guys' sound. It's like they're very self-contained, you know?
Mhm. And they all have like they've done individual projects and stuff. So the one of the I don't know what he plays, but his name's Paul Bender in the group. I don't know what he plays in the group, but he came out with like a rap album last year.
Really?
And it's like a hilarious, it's like something like for middle-aged white guys, and it's funny. It's like very, the music's great, and he's definitely rapping like a middle-aged white guy, but it's like, yeah, there's like one song that's really funny and it's actually like, I'm like, this is kind of a jam, but it's an interesting album. Like he's like, I wanted to do, and you could tell he just wanted to do like a 90s album. So it's like, wow. It has his skits, like he styled it, and it's very like, he's definitely like, making fun of himself, but it's a good album.
I need to check that out. Is it under his name, Paul Bender, or is it?
Yeah, it's on Bandcamp. I gotta find if I can find it because I definitely bought it, and it's really it's really funny. And I found out about it on Twitch. Ocean Latte was playing a song off of it, and I was like, I gotta check this out. And then I went and checked it out. But that was like, again, this has been like a good opportunity to check other DJs and learn. So a lot of what I've been doing, if I log onto your stream and it's stuff that I haven't heard before that I'm liking, I'm gonna stay there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna probably Shazam. I'm gonna probably come back. I will subscribe. This is the opportunity to be free. So like, why play stuff in the club or stuff on the radio? Like play what you feel,
Right, and diversify those crates and build those crates.
Exactly.
I don't know if it would have been a faux pas in the previous world to pull out your phone and Shazam during a DJ set, but you definitely have the privacy to do so now when you're in your living room. It's like, yeah, definitely. Bring it on.
Yeah, it's called Middle-Aged Caucasian Existential Debut Rap Record.
I mean, it wears its heart on its sleeve. Right?
He's looking very fly. I don't know if you could see, but he's got
a
beard. He's got a little gold chain. It's really, the music's good. Like, it's definitely like a little corny, but
sure.
It's got like, but the music's great, and yes, it's an enjoyable record. So
okay, well, I am going to check it out on your recommendation. I'm all about the middle-aged white man. We're gonna move on to our second round, and the second round is called Picasso, baby. So in this round, I'm gonna show you a small piece of an album cover, and you have to tell me what the album is by the little crop of it that you see.
Oh no, okay.
We've tested your general knowledge, now we're testing your eyes. Here we go. Is this Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony, Conway the Machine, From King to a God, West Side Gun, Pray for Paris, or is it Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo?
Wow. Okay, I know it's not West Side Gun. I honestly, I'm not gonna say anything about A. I don't know if it's Conway, but I do like Conway. I'm gonna say it looks like Alfredo to me, so I'm gonna say it's Alfredo.
She's going Alfredo. And guess what, folks? Yeah, she is correct. That is Alfredo. I mean,
I was going to say it had to be.
About wearing your album conceit on your sleeve, Gibbs really did that. He was like, "Yeah, put some Alfredo on there."
Yeah.
Gibbs and Alchemist were up for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys last month. Yeah, last month. No, this month. I don't know. I don't remember.
This month, March is always a long month. Last year was terrible for many, many reasons, and then this one was, I can't say it was much shorter.
Yes.
So.
Did you watch the Grammys? Like, do you follow the Grammys at all, or are you
No,
kind
I followed. I forgot who won this category. I know it wasn't Gibbs, but
of, it was Nas. Nas won
yeah, it was Nas. Yeah,
his first
and
win. Yeah.
yeah. I guess I'm glad that he got acknowledged now.
It's the Leonardo Fonte said this. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio Revenant Award. It's like, yeah,
Uh,
we have to give you like
but
we
President was good though.
of
He
course he was good, but it wasn't the career
yeah,
defining. He just
yes, it
wrestled
wasn't
with a
his.
bear for 90 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, he got fucked up by that bear too. But
Yeah.
but I guess, and I know, like, I mean, I was super happy for Kate Tronada as a
Oh
fellow
yeah.
Haitian. I was telling, I was remarking last week on my stream, like immigrant kids, is difficult to do anything that is not doctor, lawyer, and
Narrow path.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, to see someone like him do this and succeed, I was like, I know he probably still has a family member asking him when he's going to get a real job, but like, props to him. I like email my mom. I'm like, this guy, he's Haitian. He won 2 Grammys. So yeah, that made my day.
Incredible win. Yeah, you feel the pride, not just for the success of the accomplishment, but also knowing that he's got, I don't know if it's ammo or maybe it's enough to just have the family back down now, where it's like, hey, like, this is legit.
Yeah, this is legit. You can make a career out of this. And then on top of that, like his music is, his production, you could tell is very rooted in his in Haitian music. Certain songs you could just tell. So it's really dope that he's also like bringing in his own culture into that, and like, I don't know. I was very proud. I don't know the person. I don't know him at all, but I was like proud as if I knew him, as if he was like a cousin. I'm sure he is a cousin. We'll all claim him, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. Here we go. What album is this? Is it Phife Dawg, Ventilation, the LP, LL Cool J, Goat, Murphy Lee, Murphy's Law, or is it Master Ace, The Falling Season?
That's Phife Dawg.
She says it with confidence. She's seen that album cover before. She knows a thing or two about Tribe. And she's correct. That is Phife Dawg's Ventilation, his debut solo album. And I think we're getting a new Phife Dawg album soon, because they just dropped the Nutshell Part 2 video with Redman and Busta Rhymes. And I heard an interview with his wife, Phife's wife, and the album is on the way, from what I understand.
Good.
Exciting. So we've been doing a Hip Hop March Madness tournament on the questions for the last 3 weeks, and we're almost to the end of it now. We took like 64, and we based this off of the posts for album anniversaries that got the most likes in the last year. So it was kind of interesting because it eliminated some of the ones, like, for whatever reason, we'll post about all the classic albums, but not all of them got the same engagement. So it was kind of interesting. Like Nas's Illmatic, not in the mix on this one. Ready to Die, not in the mix. And only because, for whatever reason, algorithms or otherwise, these were not in the top 64 liked. So it's kind of created an interesting space for a conversation that isn't just down to people arguing about the same 5 albums that we do. So we're going to announce the top 2 tomorrow, but it's looking pretty clear that it's going to be A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders versus Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. This is the hardest question I'm going to ask you tonight. Which album do you think deserves that number 1 slot?
Oh man, I mean, Wu-Tang changed things with that album. I'm sorry. I love Tribe Called Quest. I do, honestly, and I do like Midnight Marauders has my favorite songs on there. Like, I love Lyrics to Go. It's one of my favorites. But I don't know. I really like, I'm a little older, so I like Low End Theory. I don't know. It's the way it's
You don't have to be apologetic to me, because I'm gonna back you up right now, and I want to know what you guys think in the chat as well. Low End Theory is the better Tribe album. I understand that Midnight Marauders is like maybe more perfect. It's a little more polished. Yeah. Low End Theory is better. It is.
It just is. I mean, it's not. It's yeah. It just is, like the samples, the way that it's ordered, the way that they edited it, the way it flows together. I just enjoy it more. And Midnight Marauders, as a, with the whole concept and the skits or the narration, yes, that's also, it's just, I mean, it's different, but I like Low End Theory. But Wu-Tang, just like, you had to, don't want to pull my New York card, but you had to be here. You had to be here. I mean, even for Tribe, you had to be here. So
Sure.
Wu-Tang, yeah, you had to be here because people were like, we're little kids, and like you're talking in the schoolyard about like Wu-Tang, like, from Staten Island, what? Like, it's just different. That doesn't mean that obviously like Tribe, of course, has an impact, but 36 Chambers just, that changed a lot. And it just hit like in a way that I think just didn't hit in the way of Midnight Murders. Maybe at that point, like, we kind of, we were all, Tribe had already like set themselves up to be, we were expecting good albums from them, right?
It's not the sucker punch in the face that Wu-Tang was, because that was
Exactly.
the debut of, and not only was it a debut, but it was a debut of like 9 guys. Like
9 guys that you didn't know, and you're like, who, what? And then like, you had I had the tape single, and it was like the all white of Protecting, like that's, nobody knew who they were. If you, we saw the video on Video Music Bus, you're still like, what? Who is this? Like all these guys? What's going? This guy's older. Older? What? I can't say that. Like I just, like, it was just different. When I think about Award Tour, it was just like, yeah, it was great. This is great. This is a vibe. And then like Wu-Tang was just like, it blew everyone's head off. So I gotta say 36 Chambers.
Okay, so her vote is going 36 Chambers. There's still time to vote, you guys. If you haven't done so already, hit the stories on our Instagram. That's where we've been getting most of the voting. It's been brutal. There have been people DMing me and just like crying at the tough decisions that they've had to make.
And they both, didn't they come out like the same time or the same day almost?
They came out the exact same day.
Yeah.
November 9th, 1993.
So basically all of us were broke. Like none of us had money that like we all spent or one person, you knew one person who bought Tribe, the other person bought Wu-Tang, and then you like trade.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not like it is now where we can just listen to everything on command.
Right, for free, basically. You had to like, oh God, 93 was still tapes. So yeah, some people had CDs, but like I was still rocking tapes. So okay, let me dub this for you. And like bring it to school the next day.
All right, so you heard it here first, folks. DJ Tara, she's a Wu-Tang, Wu affiliate. That's her endorsement that she's sorry, it just is what it is. She's provided a strong argument, and
if you weren't in New York and you think it's Tribe, trust me, you weren't here. You're
just wrong. I think it's like a 60-40 split the last time I checked. There's also 2 others that are not going to make it, and the other 2 in our final 4 are Low End Theory is in there, but it is currently losing. And it's losing to Wu-Tang right now. And then Doggy Style is up against Midnight Marauders right now, which again, Doggy Style, important record, great, but
which also, I mean, in here people, we were fucking with Doggy Style here. We were.
Yeah.
So
but not like that Wu-Tang.
Not like that Wu-Tang. Nope. No.
Yep. Shout out to the Boom Bap kids in the chat, our friends over at the Boom Bap kids.
Yeah, shout out to the Boom Bap kids. They did donuts this year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right.
People were like, "What is this?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "We told you." We just kept telling people like, "Come, like if you stay to the end. The last act is gonna knock you off your feet. Like just stay." And everyone was just like, mind blown.
I'm not sure if it's more shocking to see Boom Bap Kids for the first time or to have somebody like earnestly try to explain to you what it is, because that's what it was for me. I was like, yeah, what is it? Like, so what are they doing with puppets? It's like, no, they are puppets. Like, what? Huh? Whatever. All right, we're gonna move on to our next question in the Picasso Baby round. Doing great so far. What album is this? Is it the Cool Kids, Totally Flossed Out, Denmark Vesey, Martin Lucid Dream, Tanya Morgan, Brooklyn Addy, or Cool Calm Pete, Lost?
I think it's Brooklyn Addy.
She's going Brooklyn Addy. Brooklyn Natty, Brooklyn Natty.
Natty, yeah, Cincinnati, Brooklyn Natty.
Yeah, yeah. But unless you're part of the elite, and then you're part of Brooklyn Natty, like third That is the brothers Tanya Morgan talking about. We were talking about hashtag that site. I mean, we can't not include them.
No, a lot of good stuff. Hey, a lot of good. Again, a lot of good, but just like the internet, it's just not it's not the best place. But definitely, like, shouts to them. Shouts to Jesus. Amazing now on Nightlight. Nighttime. A lot of, like, Tracy, really dope people were on that site and have moved on to amazing things. So
yeah, shout out to Don Will as well, former guest on our show. We got to get Vaughn on the show too. I'm surprised we haven't linked up with him. We definitely got to holler at him.
Yeah, that new space project by Don Will is really dope, and there's this song on it that this is really, really dope. So check it out on Bandcamp.
Yes, man. Like, I don't think anybody has ever plugged music, even their own music, as hard as you have in this episode.
I don't even know music. I know, but I mean, that's what it's for. That's the best part of DJing, and just, like, sharing your shit. Like, that's why we're here. That's why it's like, why play stuff on the radio? Like, they got radio. Like, let's pull other shit. There's so much dope shit out there. Like, why restrict yourself?
So we had a flawless second round. You know a thing or two, as most DJs do, about album covers. We're going to move on to another round that might appeal to you as a DJ, and that round is called Digging in the Crates. My man still digging in the crates, diamond deep. So this is our sample round. I'm going to play you a sample and ask you a question about the sample that you hear.
Okay.
So here we go. We're diving in. Question number 8. So Vic Juris had a song called Horizon Drive. It was most popularly sampled by Gangstar's Mass Appeal, but this group also flipped the sample on their 2009 album. So I'm going to play you the Vic Juris joint, and you tell me who else has sampled it. Was it Hieroglyphics, Kids in the Hall, Diamond District, or Little Brother? What'd you say?
Oh, like, I don't know this one.
Well, we can
2009 album.
Should we consult the chat maybe? D-Funk says that he knows this one.
D says he knows it. Come on, D. Come through, D. 2009. Diamond District came out in 2009, right?
Well, if I answer,
I know you can't. Yeah.
You're thinking out loud here.
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking it's either C or D.
Okay.
Only because those are the only ones I would pop. I'm like, I honestly, I couldn't. I didn't listen to whatever Hyro came out with if they came out in 2009.
Right.
Or Kids in the Hall, but I definitely remember that first Diamond District album not enough to remember if that song was sampled on it. But
all right, let's see what we're seeing in the chat. So I'll show you here.
First okay. Yeah, D's saying it's Diamond District.
All right, now he could be exacting revenge on you for calling him a coastal sellout.
Well, he did it himself. He shouted out himself. Okay.
So we're going Diamond District. Let's hear the answer.
I still trust. That's the best D. So I still trust Derek regardless. D regardless. All good.
Was that like a? No, I think.
I know it's not a secret, but I just I was trying to keep it.
We're gonna terminate this broadcast. We'll delete the upload.
No, I know, right? No, I'm kidding.
It's never happened. All right, so we went to D. D recommended that we go with C. And the answer for C is Diamond District with 2 Ds. And Diamond District is correct. In the rough.
Let Me Chill is like, love that song. Honest, that's like, woo, the best way to start the album. It's so good. I love it. Yeah.
I feel like that's a record that I don't want to say like it's underrated, because that's kind of a played out term. And I think a lot of people were really like breathing this album at the time. But I would just take this moment in the show to urge you, whether or not you were constantly listening to In the Rough when it came out, or if you have never heard this album, go listen to this album. It's very good. It's sort of the beginning for Odyssey, who has gone on to have a very long and fruitful career.
Yes.
But this is kind of where it all started.
Yes, it is. It's really, really good. I play that a lot on my sets, like, and I haven't played it in a minute, but like when in the outside world, I would definitely like try to like in a warm up. I'm like, I'm gonna just drop this real quick.
I know you did a mix as well. I heard a mix that you did. I don't know how recent it was, but I think you started out with the Odyssey song as well. Right
Yeah,
about
I like to play a lot of Odyssey, like the Odd Spring stuff, the stuff that he did where he would like take other songs and do raps over them. So he did like a Metronomy song, which is this band from the UK.
yeah, yeah,
And then he did one with Marvin. So I used to play that a lot for Motown on Mondays. And Ate That Peculiar. He did like a little, it's dope. Yeah.
yeah.
So shouts to him.
Super dope. Shout out to Odyssey. We're gonna move on to our second question in this round. Doing great so far. A vocal sample from this Beastie Boys song appears frequently throughout Jay Dilla's Donuts. So I will play you a Donuts song with the sample in question.
Center stage.
Is it No Sleep Till Brooklyn, The New Style, Paul Revere, or Intergalactic?
It's the new style.
Can you say it similar to the sample? Can you give us like...
It's the new style.
That's good. I won't deduct points for that.
And we put it on wax. It's the new style.
Yeah.
4 and 3 and 2 and 1. What up? And when I'm
All right. We'll get shut down if we play too long.
I know. Oh man. Yeah. Thanks Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
Nothing like letting that thing breathe, right?
Yeah. Right.
Tell me a little bit about your involvement in Donuts Are Forever, because it feels like now it's an event that's been around forever. It's crazy to think that it's been so long that since JD passed, and it's an event that hasn't really lost its step, and I think is so important as the world has like sort of very gradually come around to the point that his music and his equipment is in the Smithsonian now. It just so that was like when I sort of realized and put together, what can we talk about? I was really excited to talk to you about Donuts Are Forever.
Yeah. So first, shouts to D-Funk, who's one of the co-organizers or co-founders. Our boy Eric Shinobi Shaw, our lady friend Christy out in Georgia right now. We all lived in New York. We used to just do parties. And then we all were very devastated when Dilla passed away. We went to a few tribute parties. A lot of tribute parties came out like immediately after he passed away. And I don't recall who it was. I feel like it was our homie Bill. Was like, you guys should do one next year. I really don't know.
Brainchild Bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was him who's like, you guys should do this every year. So we were like, okay, we're going to give this a go. And we ended up giving it a go. And, Derek came up with the name. We just pulled it off and we were like, okay, well, what are we going to, how are we going to do this? We wanted to try to do, I work in nonprofit. It was, let's try to do something with a purpose, especially at the time, like the estate stuff was a little messy. So we're like, there's nowhere to give the money and then we didn't feel right pocketing it. So we were doing it just to like raise money for different things because we threw parties during the year. We would basically save up, all of us were working full time. So none of this was money that we could like retire or do anything. So we just like save our money from, co-promoting parties and doing parties here and there. And then we would use that money to put on donuts every year. And yeah, we just had the 15th. We are still involved, but we, a few years ago, partnered with an amazing organization called Building Beats. They're based in New York, but they are out in LA right now. They do music education programs throughout New York City, also blending not only just music education, but STEM. So technology, kids are getting technology education alongside music production and DJ education. Shouts to Marcus and Fee and all of the other instructors. They're a great organization. Please donate to them, especially as they're expanding out to LA. I think they're also looking to hire staff. So if you are interested in music education and you love the kids, give them a holler. But yeah, so we basically, all of us are older. People have kids and spouses, and it's just got little bit too much for us. So we were really happy to partner with Building Beats, and they've really been able to grow it and get people that we've dreamed of getting. Like we got Pete Rock last year. For many people, that was like one of the last parties that they went to before before the shutdown, because we do it in February. This year, the lineup was amazing. We had Lefto from Belt, like people that we couldn't ever afford. Again, bright side in some pretty dark times.
Sure.
Being able to, get people that we've only dreamt of being involved to be involved, because, travel wasn't an issue anymore.
I don't have to worry about the accommodations and then the airport.
Yeah, trying to fly people out, and then trying to fly people out in notoriously cold weather. We've definitely had snow. It's been, we've had some freezing times for anyone who's been there. But people, came out, they waited online. We would feed them donuts. It's been amazing, and it's been great that we were able to do this and raise some money to basically, try to get some more Dillas into the world, and keep it going.
Yeah, and I didn't know the Building Beats was out here, so that's
this is recent.
Cool. Yeah, we're maybe in the future we can do something with them, because we've done stuff with Frank Nitt and Ma Dukes for events that they've done out here. We did a couple Dilla nights as well, all Dilla themed trivia. But so much respect and admiration for what you guys have done with Donuts Are Forever, and we look forward to more. I mean, the fact that you guys didn't really lose a step, even in the craziness that's happened in the last year. It seems like donuts may be forever.
Yeah, and that's all I'm telling you. That's all Building Beats, like Marcus, who's also an amazing DJ in his own right, is just oh man, knocked it out the park between the talent and getting a space to broadcast from, and getting all of these things for auction. And then all we did was try to get the word out as much as we could. So
right, it sells itself. It's the blessing there. All right, we're on to the final question in our third round. Well, so far. All right, so this keynote from the Free Designs Light My Fire was used for a song by this LA beat scene producer. So I'm going to play you the note from the Free Design, and you tell me who sampled it. Here we go. I'm going to play it again. Is it DiBiase, Gaslamp Killer, Flying Lotus, or Shlomo?
Well, dang.
What are your thoughts?
Oh man,
what do you say?
I'm really clueless.
Clueless.
Yes, unless somebody. I'm gonna try to. How many times have I phoned a friend? I've phoned a friend.
I haven't really been keeping track, and we haven't set a hard limit on it, so we'll say. Don't worry about that. Maybe eventually we'll have to do that, but I don't think that. Not something I want to be like an enforcer. Do you guys know the chat has gotten uncharacteristically quiet right now on our
right. Okay, so that means it's a hard one.
It's the last question before we get to our final round, so we had to turn it up. One more time here, and then we'll deduce this. Chat, come on, don't leave your girl hanging here.
I know, right? Come on. I'm gonna guess,
Okay, so we've got a couple questions here, or a couple. Well, I'm going to show you what the chat is.
Want some clues?
Charlemont says no clue, guessing Flying Lotus.
Okay.
Defunk says that he's going to guess Gaslamp Killer. Let's see. Somebody else is saying B, Gaslamp Killer. It seems like there's not a. I think we've got the chat, who is normally very boisterous, a little shook on this one as well.
I'm gonna ignore all of you. I'm gonna say A. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I don't think it's Flying Lotus, but I also am like, dang, I love Fly Low too. But I'm like, do I know every single Fly Low song?
Right. Christopher Hudson just popped in. He's saying Flying Lotus. But you got to go with your gut on this. So
I'm gonna go with my gut.
Okay, so you're going A. So I'll play that sample one more time here. And here is who sampled it.
Oh my God, this is
Flying Lotus. Now listen, it's disappointing to get a question wrong, but it's really exciting to learn a sample for a song that you've heard.
Because I really like this song. Dang it. This is so funny.
So this is like, for a lot of people, one of the first songs. For a lot of people, it was kind of like an introduction of Flying Lotus. Obviously, he'd been doing a lot of stuff, but this was one of his first like official releases on his Reset EP. This is the Tea Leaf Dancers. And again, if you just listen, I'm going to play it one more time. Woo!
That's
crazy.
Too.
Yeah. Very dope track. So okay, listen. It's not about always getting the questions right. It's about now you have a little
to learn. I love it.
And you're a DJ, you can go, you can take that, you put that in your pocket.
Exactly. I'm gonna next week, y'all. I'm gonna have like the whole thing.
Like connection and stuff. So we've reached our final round, and the final round is Time's Up. So this is our speed round. So we're going to have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in the category of your choosing. Let's see what tonight's topics are.
Oh man.
Category A is All the Way Live in 95. You are episode 95, so we thought we would maybe throw in some 95 stuff. Second category is Keeping It Mobile. This is all about phones as they relate to hip-hop songs. And then finally, our third category is Dilla and Delicious Vinyl. So your choice, you pick the category, and you will have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in that category.
Oh man, I'm gonna, you know what, 95. I'm gonna go with All the Way Live in 95.
Okay, she's going All the Way Live in 95. So that's what she's going to do, and I think that is a good choice. I'm going to go over the rules with you real quick. You'll have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in the category of your choice. Now, if you don't know the answer, you could say pass, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
But if you answer incorrectly, then that question is done, and you can't answer it anymore. We will allow the chat. I'll tap the chat in. If you want to ask the chat what they think, I'll start to pull in their comments on there. There might be a little bit of a delay. And as we've seen, sometimes the chat, they're enthusiastic, but they don't always know what they're talking about. So keep that in mind. I have OC's Time's Up here, and it is time to 90 seconds. So when we stop hearing Time's Up, your time is up.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready for All the Way Live in 95, DJ Tara?
I am ready.
Okay, let me cue this up, get this all situated. And these are non-multiple choice again. So, rapid fire. All the Way Live in 95, 90 seconds on the clock. Your love chat. Here we go. This producer MC helped mix Mobb Deep's The Infamous in addition to producing 3 songs of his own. Okay. This producer MC helped mix The Infamous, Mobb Deep's album The Infamous that came out in 1995. He helped mix it, and he produced 3 songs on the album.
Yep, ooh, I'm gonna pass.
Okay, the opening shot in the music video for Skilo's 1995 hit.
Wait. Oh, okay, wait. Yeah. I'm gonna say Q-Tip.
Q-Tip is correct.
Okay. I was like, wait, how to think about what's on the album.
In the music video for Skilo's 1995 I Wish song parodies this film. The beginning of the I Wish video, what is it a parody of?
Pass.
Okay, he's gonna pass. Which 3 Wu-Tang members dropped solo albums in 1995?
Oh God, Raekwon, Ghostface, and Method Man.
I'm going to give you partial credit for that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. Dr. Dre's single "Keep Their Heads Ringing" was on the soundtrack to this film.
High School High?
It was not High School High. The Roots' second album, "Do You Want More," came out in '95, but it was supposed to be released in '94. According to the lyrics on the song "Proceed," what was the original release date? He was representing Philly on what date?
28th of June, 26th of June, something of June.
June is correct. You slid in there right at the end. I'm gonna. Okay, here's what you got right. Yes, Q-Tip was correct. He produced 3 songs on The Infamous, and he also helped mix it. The video for Skilo's "I Wish" opens with a shot that parodies Forrest Gump. It's him sitting on a bench. He's got a box of chocolates.
Okay.
About how he wishes he was a little bit taller. He wishes he was a baller. You know the song. 3 Wu-Tang members dropped solo albums in '95. It was Raekwon, as you said, GZA, Liquid Sword.
Liquid Sword.
Bastard, Return to the 36 Chambers.
Okay.
Ghostface was '96. Method Man was '94. So
yeah,
close. We'll give you partial credit on that. And then Dr. Dre's "Keep Their Heads Ringing" was from the Friday soundtrack.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to total up your score here, but I want you to know that no matter what, you are a champion.
I know. That's
if you guys have some questions for our guests tonight, please drop them in the chat. You did great. While I total up your score, my question for you is, now that you've been on the show, we always like to ask our guests, who would you challenge or nominate to come on the show? Who should we invite on?
I have a few folks. Well, first of all, D hasn't been on it, has he?
D has not been on it.
So definitely him. I would also have Timotep.
Staple of
yeah, you have to give both of them very hard questions.
We can't the easy ones. We gotta
yeah, you gotta bust out the really tough ones for those guys. Yeah, I mean, definitely Spin Eureka. She hasn't been on.
Another great one.
Yeah, but those would be my top 3 for sure.
Okay, we're going to look into that. If you can endorse us, or if you have any incriminating photos of them that you can pass to us.
D, yes.
D, yes. Well, we all have the D. Nobody's hurting for those. I'm trying to get rid of those. I've totaled up your score, rounded you up for the partial credit on the Wu-Tang. You got 11 out of 15 correct. Now, let me tell you who is in the 11 club with you. These are former guests who have gotten 11s on the show. Diallo Riddle, writer and producer Diallo Riddle.
Yeah, I love South. When is Southside coming back?
It's coming back.
I don't know why I'm asking you, but I love Southside is
Let me check my paperwork here.
Hilarious.
I just saw him. He posted a video or a photo of him flying to Chicago. So I think that's a sign that it might be in the works.
If you have Comedy Central, I think it should be on their website streaming. Watch Southside. That shit is hilarious. I know people really like Sherman Showcase. That's cool. Southside is hilarious. I'm sorry. I like every episode. I mean, they're both great, but if I had to pick, like, Southside's hilarious. And the music's great.
She's giving you music recs. She's giving TV recs. Media package here. But let me tell you, this is the part where I want to make you, aware of who you're in this club with. So we got is in the 11 club. Kim Osorio from The Source was on the show. She got an 11.
Wow.
Mai, Mr. C, Mega Ran, Homeboy Sandman, Lyric Born, Chub Rock, Russell Peters, J Live, Elda Sensei, Salam Remy. I just want you to know that you're in an elite club right now. The 11 club is a great place to be.
Yes, very. I'm honored.
We're going to dip your photo in bronze or however you're going to be up on the wall. And then,
nice.
when you get to episode 195, somebody is going to get an 11. And I'm going to be like, hey, DJ Tara is your contemporary, your peer.
I'm gonna flash 11s if I ever run into any of these folks in the street. I'm gonna say, "Hey, 11!"
Right,
and they're gonna know exactly what I'm. 11. They're just gonna say 11.
Maybe you've been considering a face tattoo, perhaps, and now here's a number.
There you go. I mean,
1 here and a 1 here.
Yeah, maybe right there. Keep it in the.
Yeah. the possibilities are endless. Do we have time to take a few questions? Because there's a lot of questions coming in from people that
Yeah.
know things from you.
I'm glad. I'm surprised there are questions. I'm glad. Thank you guys for checking me out. This is great.
Absolutely. Shout out to all of our viewers watching on various things. We're getting the hang of this. This is the third episode that it's been hard for me to separate from the routine of doing it only on Instagram Live, but I'm starting to feel like this is going to work. I think this is going to work. So thank you for bearing with us during this.
No, it's been great. I love that, like with the YouTube, however, like all the questions came up. I mean, the answers, the feedback. I think it's really dope.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. So we had a question earlier today I posted on Instagram, and the first question somebody DM'd us was, how do they get music to you? As a DJ, I was like, wow, this is a very savvy and career-oriented person trying to, that's the first question. How, where do you discover music, and are your DMs open for new music?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, I mean, I'm like, people sometimes send me music. That doesn't happen too often. The last time somebody sent me something, I was like, oh yeah, this is great, I'll play it. So you can email me. My email's on my website, which is djtara.com. DMs are okay, but sometimes I don't check them. And like emails, I check my email. Please just send a download link and it be high quality and tag it. I know that's something you should just do forever. I mean, you want to tag because otherwise, like, people are gonna say, "What is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Final Cut 8." Like, I don't know. You have to, put the name on it and all of that. But yeah, definitely, yeah. I would definitely. I'll listen. If I don't respond, don't take it personally. It's not like, sometimes honestly, I work a day job, so I just don't always get a chance. But I do try. I mean, I'm on Bandcamp. Again, part of being on Twitch is also like the opportunity to get into some new music. There are people that I like that, I know that they always play really good stuff. So I go and check them out. Yeah. They're always playing, they're also looking for new stuff. So they might put new stuff up. But yeah, I mean, a Bandcamp's been great for that. And, you're able to like follow other people and see what they purchase. I do that a lot. I'm like, oh, what did this person buy? I know this. Like, what did my homie buy? What did they buy? Let me save this for later. So there's a lot of that, which is great. And then, I also try to, I appreciate DJs who share their track list. I try to share my track list as much as possible, because that's how you learn about new artists. Like Lefto is somebody who does his radio show and he puts up the track list, and I appreciate the hell out of that because I know he plays dope shit. So I want to know who it is, where can I get it? So, but yeah, I definitely am down if people want to send me stuff. Email is better just because it all stays in one place too. So
she's given you the directive.
Tag it and make sure that it's high quality.
Yeah, tag it. She should say that, folks. It's like, hey, if you want to get a job in this place, make sure that you tie your shoes. Like, it's simple. Just tag your shit.
I have a song. It happens. I'll get a song and I'm like, what is this? And I look, I'm like, I don't even know what it is. It's just, it says something like Final Version 2. I'm like, what? I don't know who this is. I had to Shazam somebody from my set. Like, who is this? Because I don't remember like who sent it to me or where I got it. Even if you don't send it to me, wherever you send it or wherever you post it, make sure it's tagged properly.
Jewels, gems. We got a question from Joel Henderson here, and he asks, if you could produce an album by any artist, who would it be? If you could produce an album.
Oh my God.
I'm
not a producer. I wish I was. I actually did say with all of this happening that I would try to take some time out. And I bought a little pocket operator. I haven't busted out yet, but I mean, I like to think that when the DJing is a kind of like a precursor to it, just because you're listening to different sounds and trying to figure out like how things mix in together. But I'm not going to say I'm aspiring, but I'm not putting in the effort.
but producers also exist in the traditional sense where you don't necessarily have to know side chain, multi-band compression and things like that. So in the more traditional, hand on your head listening to the music and be like, I think we should make that bridge maybe a little bit shorter, or what if we change the key? Like, who do you think you could sort of fill that role for?
Damn. That's a tough one. Yeah, that's really tough.
It might even stem from, I think we all have favorite artists and we're just like, man, I love Blanc, but I just wish that they, instead of doing what they've done the last couple albums, I wish what they really need to do is blink. So I don't know, maybe there's an artist that you feel like
You know,
passionate about.
I really love Gabriel Garzon Montano.
Mm,
Like, if I'd say like mostly all of the sets, I would say like 90% of the time I play him in my sets. I would love to if I was in a capacity to work in any kind of production or music direction or creative direction. I think him definitely, because he just has different styles, and I like that he's able to explore. Yeah, I would have to pick him.
okay. We've got a question from Steve Wonder who asks, what is your favorite Wu solo album?
Ooh, God, Supreme Clientele.
That
I love Supreme Clientele.
that got pretty far as well in our March Madness.
Yeah.
I believe it got eliminated in the top 8 or something. But
Yeah, like the first time I heard, it's just from the shit that he says. I'm like, what? What is it's like so off the wall? But then like the production and yeah, no, it's definitely my favorite.
absolutely, nobody's going to argue with you on that one. And people like to argue about hip hop. Trust me, we've
Oh, I know.
short fighting that people like to do. Let me see what else we have here. Well, I have a question for you. Can you talk about, are there any projects that you have lined up or things that you're looking forward to doing, whether it's out in the world eventually? Maybe we're starting to feel like that's a possibility, or are there any things in the digital space that you're sort of looking forward or have your eyes on at this point?
Um, I mean, I'm not so much looking for like I guess the outside, only because I know it's not safe for everyone. I mean, at least in New York, I have to give New York that for the fact that like people like vaccines are great. I got my second dose the other day.
Oh, nice.
So they are out there. But whether or not people are going to take them is one thing, and then also things are still not. I think the rates are still rising up despite all of this. So I would kind of like to see things to be a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, honestly, I feel like right now the DJing streams regularly is definitely keeping me in a creative space. I do mixes. I try to do a few a year, apart from the ones that I just do for like the lot radio, which is like on a monthly. I did one last month that I released for Valentine's Day. I have it's a 3-part mix now.
Oh, cool.
That I released the third part, and it's just like it's so sexy, but it's not like your typical romance Valentine's Day type. It's a little different, and so I'm really proud of that one because I love it. So definitely try to I have a few mixes in my brain that I've written out. I know exactly what I want to put on it. I just haven't actually laid them down.
Yeah.
Definitely want to do that. I'm going to come out with a few more mixes this year, and then as I mentioned, I think right now it's really important for DJs, promoters to really start thinking about what kind of nightlife they want to come back to.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did over this shutdown is there's a group called Vibe Lab. They are international and they are different practitioners. I'm an urban planner, so I'm a little bit geeky about spaces and things of that sort. So I just worked on, I led a chapter for this global nightlife recovery plan. And my chapter was released last month, and it talks about the workers, because in the grand scheme of things, it's the most people-based area of nightlife. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't have nightlife if not for the people. Right. But I think people, when you're thinking about all of the economic issues that result from nightlife being shut down, people think really more of the businesses, and they think less of the people. It's not, just a space for people to get down and party. For a lot of people, especially marginalized groups, that's a place where people found their social network, their friends.
Yeah.
Essentially, that is having that taken away from them has been very devastating. On top of the fact that you've taken away their livelihood. And
Right.
Again, being from a marginalized group, it's not like they can immediately turn around and get a job somewhere else, because a lot of times they've been discriminated against in other areas. And having that one area sanctuary and nightlife, and that having that taken away is pretty devastating.
Right.
And then again, on top of that, nightlife wasn't equitable. So a lot of, a lot of women, a lot of people of color, largely not on major bills, largely not getting, not getting top billing, not getting paid as well, all of these things. So I've been really pivoting and trying to figure out like what I can do and how I can contribute to advocating for nightlife workers, for a more equitable recovery, a more equitable landscape for when people return. We cannot go back to the old shit. We cannot.
In so many respects.
We cannot.
That statement is like the Rorschach test. Like, however you want to read that, there's so many ways that can be applied for everything that we've collectively all experienced and collectively gone through and witnessed. And yeah, we can't go back.
We can't go back.
There's no back to normal. Like, I know I'm prone to say that sometimes, and it's just sort of like, it's sort of code for just being able to go outside again. But yeah, we can't necessarily go back to the way that things have been in many regards. So, yeah.
And then unfortunately, like, you're starting to see it. Like, you're starting to see major festival lineups, because some
announced today.
Yeah, Bonnaroo announced. I mean, yeah. I'm thinking about some of the more DJ focused ones too. Like, granted, that's not my crowd, but Hard Festival, Governor's Ball, they've released their lineups, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, and then on top of that, it's funny because there have been DJs who have pivoted to stream and who have done really well. And I'm like, y'all aren't even tapping into them. So like, what are you like? Where you literally hibernated for a fucking year. Meanwhile, like all of this shit, like, don't act like none of, a lot of them sat down and laid down and did nothing. But a lot of people did step up and put out some amazing music production wise, or continue to DJ streams. So I don't understand how, like, people are kind of like came back as if nothing happened. And I just don't, I really want I want us, and I want myself in particular to kind of push up against that. So I'm trying to just figure out how I can do that.
Well, just that little thing. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that one little small task. So.
Well, I know I speak for our audience, whether you're watching live now or you catch this later on, the restream on Twitch or on YouTube, that we appreciate what you do. We appreciate the things that you put your energy and your passion behind. And we look forward to seeing everything that you do next through the organizations that you work with, through, the events and the sort of forethought and planning that you just spoke about, through your mixes, through your music. And we really appreciate you. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
And thank you guys for having me. And for those who do go out, y'all have the power to help change the landscape for nightlife workers and nightlife in general. Like, you've seen what it can be, but it's up to y'all with your money to help shape what it looks like when we all get back. And I hope to see y'all. I definitely want to get back. I need to shake my ass, like, outside of my house. So,
yes.
But only when it's safe.
Vote with your wallet, and yes, safety, masks, vaccines, all those good things. I'm getting my second dose on Sunday. And,
hydrate and rest.
Yeah.
I was just tired. I know some people got worse. I was like, I'm always tired. But then I woke up this morning like feeling amazing. So I was like, I was really tired yesterday. Because I was like, this is great. And I was like, I was really, really exhausted yesterday. So, but yeah, hydrate and rest. Don't plan to do anything on Sunday.